Real quick, I have a joke. Okay, you guys ready? And John, don't give out the answer, because I'm sure you know it. There is a liquid that can conjure up courage, give strength, or even act as a love potion of all sorts. Can anyone guess what it is?
Tequila.
Yeah, alcohol. Okay. No, I'm going to do the general evaluation portion of the meeting where I give my thought of the meeting. But first, I'd like to introduce the evaluators. So I'm going to first call up Emily, who evaluated Marco's speech. So come on up.
Okay. Marcos. Well, good evening, everyone. This is my first time doing evaluator, so excuse me if I, didn't do it correctly. But anyways, Marcos, for the speech, I thought it was really interesting because it was very informal. It was very formal about the history, about the culture, and I feel like the preparation that you did, I feel like you did a lot of history research and on the topic. But you talked about the pharmaceutical, the medical field, and the nutrition, specifically for the pharmaceutical, you just talking about history, background, all these people, and I'm just like, wow, he's so knowledgeable, about his information, you're just very enthusiastic about your topic. What I like about it most is you were just very educational about the presentation and the history of the nutrition, and also your tone, you were very enthusiastic about it. And for the organization of this speech, you have a very clear logic, and you have body, you have a body, an introduction, a body, which you talk about the 3 topics. Also, you include another one, cancer, towards the end. And you have a conclusion, which is a very nice formatting. And also, I just feel for your opening, it could have been improved. I just feel it wasn't as great into getting the audience attention of leading into your topic. So it could improve on that. Other than that, it's still a great topic to me because I like nutrition myself. I just like nutrition. And also, like I said earlier about the body, it's very appropriate. You do have supported evidence to supporting your facts, your information and the background. And you're just very knowledgeable about your information. And for your conclusion, you restated everything. You summed it up, what you want to talk about and why we should care about nutrition, why we should do research about our own research and what we put in our body and stuff. And the transition, you ran out of time, you were running out of time, but you just fit in there. There was I know you have this transition in. But some of the things you could improve on, first of all, you mentioned it you could have spit out your gum just so it'd be easier you can talk, It's better just so when you talk you don't have something chewing on. And also with your body language, I just feel instead of just it was very distracting to me personally when you were just moving your leg around, and I'm just instead of that you could just stand still, and instead of just walk around if you have to, or just instead of just moving around, playing with your legs a lot, you can just walk around and just stand up straight. Personally, that's just how I felt. It was kind of distracting to me. But overall, you did a really great job. It was very educational. I learned a lot about the history of. I learned about the history of nutrition and the pharmaceutical. And overall, you had a great tone and you did a great job. And thank you.
Next, I'm going to introduce someone that doesn't need an introduction, Calvin.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. We didn't get you a name yet, so you need to get mad.
I got one.
First little aside, we spent the entire 7-8 weeks before spring break, about 15 people giving our icebreakers, which is wonderful. We come after spring break, and we've entered this next stage of evolution. Everybody tonight did their second or third speech. We're growing, and we're kind of increasing, which I love. I think that's a wonderful thing. I love icebreakers, but I love seeing improvement, too. Tiffany, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think you chose the right topic for the right audience, which is one of your goals. spoke about living in the moment to a group of people who are all here because they're thinking about their future. And so that's one of the things every college student assesses about, and you chose a topic that reminds us to slow down and remember what's important in life. You had a few goals for your speech. Your personal goals were hopefully inspire, meet time constraints, be more confident, and have a less shaky voice. And your speech goals included selecting a speech, organizing the speech, ensuring the body, beginning and conclusion all reinforce it, and project sincerity and conviction, strive not to use notes, which I'm using now. What I really liked, you had a good hook with the audience. You got up, and just like a motivational speaker, like a televangelist, but in a good way, you came front and you grabbed it. It wasn't a soft introduction. It was like a great marketing commercial, which you're a marketing major. Should how it goes. You had concrete examples of ruts that people get in, family, homework, relatives, so that we could finally identify and it was relevant to everybody. You had a good intro engaging in the present moment, good hand gestures. You had a very energetic cadence. You had a sort of this bouncy vocal volume that kept people riveted, kept me riveted at least. I won't speak for everybody. But sometimes people like myself can devolve into a monotone where you put people to sleep. But you had a nice balance to it, which is I really like, and I can engage when people are doing that. You had a good ending quote, which I think is a wonderful thing to end on. It wraps the entire speech up in conclusion. And you had very discreet use of notes, which is nice. I had a few over here it looked like, but it wasn't taking over the speaking space, which I thought was wonderful. Things I might suggest changing is slow down. I know it feels like you want to pack so much into 5 to 7 minutes, but when you're talking about things like yoga and in the moment, it should be slow for emphasis, because those are that we get it better when things are said like that. Try to make contact with a whole audience. I think there's always a focus on the front few tables, but we want to reach everybody. If we had a balcony up there too, engage the whole group. I heard a clear beginning and conclusion, which is great. I heard the beginning, the middle, the end. You met your speech goals. You selected your topic. You organized it. You conveyed sincerity. This is where you work. This is who you are. You brought genuine interest to it. You met your time constraints. I feel you are more confident in your past speeches. I think there was increased confidence. And overall, wonderful, wonderful speech.
Next, I'm going to introduce a man who always has his eyes on the prize, Anthony.
Wait, one more, John.
John. It was my thing. You gotta give me some too. You also have your eyes on the prize.
The other man who had the eyes on the prize.
There, yeah. All right.
Hey, come on. Anthony, John, want to say hi, something like that, right? Yeah. All right, so I reviewed Diana, and I thought that this was a very good speech. I felt that your presence up here was very purposeful. So some of your points when you were up here were to start with a general purpose when you introduced it. I felt that you started us off by really setting the groundwork for that, and then lead us into your, by way of persuasion, lead us into your specific purpose, and then your entire speech should be structured to really emphasize that point, that specific purpose. And I felt that overall you achieved this goal. As we were going through, I personally felt that with the body, with the beginning, body, and conclusion, there was a definite beginning and a definite conclusion, but there was no definite transitions between the three. So that would be something that I would, I enjoyed the way you presented it. I felt that it was a story, so I'd say more like an essay format where it flowed, rather than, boom, boom, boom. So it's totally personal preference. Just want to note that in case that was something you wanted to work on. Something else that I thought was very good that you actually hit here was you were very sincere. The entire time you were up here, you were expressing your personal story, which to me just screamed sincerity. And you mentioned, your family values, and then your cousin's values and her family, and these two examples of how, just as you mentioned, the support systems, how they can be drastically different between two groups. And I thought that was huge. And it was really, for me, eventually led to a call back to action at the very end. It was just very, very purposeful. And that leads into the next point, which was conviction. You had that conviction. You said this is a clear example of what anyone can achieve. and then here's an example of, you know, someone's held back or not living up to their full potential in your opinion, and I believed it and I felt it was good, and you didn't use notes, you knew it, you knew the story, you had passion. That was very effective. Also, what helped with your effectiveness was you had, in my opinion, no level of nervousness. You were up here, you were calm, collected, cool as a cucumber. You were just telling your story. Boom, this is it. I'm just trying to help you guys understand that we all need help, and that's kind of how you presented it. And I loved it. I ate it up. It was great. So some other things that I think that would, again, personal preference for me was vocal variety. I felt that there was times that you could have maybe spoke a little louder or softer just to, you know, pull people in and accentuate your points, because you had really good points and you had a very consistent pace. But if you maybe said something and then let it ride and let the audience feel it and suck it in, and then maybe you can deliver some more points and build up energy so everyone's on the tip of their toes, and then deliver your call to action. Boom. I thought that would be very powerful, because your speech itself, the words, all the choices you made were very good. Another thing that could really improve the effectiveness, in my opinion, was using your hands more. But you were very calm, like I mentioned. But you could have, I don't know, I'm very tactile, very visual, so I'm like painting with your hands and your words at the same time. Doesn't work for everyone, not everyone likes it. That was just me personally. You know, there's some things that you could really show with body movement. So to wrap up, since I have the red, very great speech. You gave specific examples that really walked us through the story, and you helped us at the very end with your call to action. And I love what you said, which was give everyone an opportunity, and we all need to help. We all need to help each other out, basically. So thanks for that.
Okay, I now call votes for what?
Or evaluated.
Oh, evaluated. Oh, I haven't been here in a while. So I guess on the bottom of your sheet is a spot for you to put your best vote for evaluated. It was either Emily, Kevin, or John.
Did you want to collect this way? I'll collect this way.